Here we are back again with the RV Crash Course. Today we are talking about inverters and converters and what are they doing. RVs have them. Most people don't know what they do, and here we're going to talk about what they do and how it applies to you. Inverters and converters work with different power types because that's what they do. DC power is when we're referring to the batteries in those systems. AC is usually your outlets, things like that. You know, when you plug into the power box at the campground, it is using AC power. You got to somehow get that AC power into DC power to run your lights, your water pump, things like that. So those are the different power types that your RV works with, and this is how they integrate with inverters and converters. Converters. Every RV has some type of converter in the system. They can either be standalone, where their only job is to take AC power and make it into DC power. That's it. That's all it has to do. That's all it's meant to do. It just does that. Others are integrated to the inverter. So the bigger stuff, the bigger A's, the bigger motorhomes, the bigger RVs, they'll have an inverter with a converter integrated into the unit. So it will automatically start charging the batteries if it doesn't see power coming in. So those are the different types and what it does. Like I said, it takes AC power when plugged in and converts it to DC power. That is its only job. It does nothing else. That's all it's meant to do. So that's how your battery stays charged when you're plugged in. When you check your wall, it says charging. That is the converter doing it. If you check on your breaker box, there will be something listed as converter or inverter if you have an inverter system. So an inverter, its job is to take DC power, your batteries, and convert it to AC power. That is what it does. So one of these, the converter takes AC power and makes DC power. The inverter takes DC power and makes AC power. So they are two different things. So it actually matters what they are called. Inverters are more common in the bigger RVs and motorhomes, and at how they are integrated and what they do can vary. Some cheaper motorhomes, it can simply just be taking DC power and making AC power just to feed a couple outlets like your TVs or something you might have your phone plugged into, some low power stuff. Some it could be feeding the entire RV depending on how it's wired in and what the manufacturer did. Inverters have power limits. So what they are rated in is output wattage. So the wattage depends on how much stuff you're trying to run. Like a TV can run like 400 watts. Your microwave can be running like 1500 or more. AC units, you're starting to push up to 1800 watts. So some inverters are not tied into certain systems because they run too much wattage for the inverter that is being installed. 1000 to 1200, those are the smaller inverters. They're just meant to run like your TV and some basic outlets, things like that. So really, most times you're going to find them without a converter tied into it. They just take DC, makes AC power, and that's it. 2000 watts, that size is very, very, very common to find in RVs. It's a good size. It does everything. You'll find most outlets tied in with a 2000 watt inverter, and those do have a converter integrated into those units. Now when you started talking about the bigger stuff, you got a 2800 to 3000 watt inverter. These are your bigger class A's, the people that have more outlets, more things that run on the system. You can upgrade to these, and the smaller RVs are going to 3000 watts so they can run their AC unit on it. Now when you start getting into Prevost and Newell territory, the big $1 million motorhomes, you can find 2 or 3 or 4 of these inverters on that system. So you can daisy chain them in depending on what your power intake is. So that is an overall what inverters and converters are and how they apply and what they do for you and your RV. So if you like what you're seeing here and you want to keep hearing more about the RV Crash Course, make sure to like and subscribe and ring the little bell icon to find more info.